will never stop using anything as an excuse to talk about these games. And the thing about it, more than anything, more than all the characters.
Hey everyone. In a recent interview with the website Siliconera, producer Kensuke Tsukanaka talked about Project X Zone, his game. They talked with the website in an interview about the fact that the Monolith Soft franchise Xenosaga was represented in the game, but Baten Kaitos was not. Kensuke Tsukanaka, he talked about the fact that he didn't feel the characters would work in the game. Then he talked about the possibility of a sequel of the game concerning Monolith Soft and Baten Kaitos 3. And he said that it's something that is very well possible. It could happen. Like, it's been on people's minds, you know? But you would need substantial fan feedback. Like, Bandai Namco would have to know that people want this. Bandai Namco, this is my open letter to you, asking you to please make Baten Kaitos 3 happen. Promotional artwork appeared online. I think it was for Xenosaga or something like that. It was from Yasuyuki Hone, who's the designer of that, and also Baten Kaitos. Now, a lot of people suspected this was Baten Kaitos 3. Personally, I didn't believe it too much. I felt it was too easy, it was too random. However, I agree that I understood where this mindset came from the fans. The artwork basically looked like the end of Baten Kaitos 1, the original one, where the continents came down in the end to Earth and they fastened themselves to the new continent, and it seemed like life had spread on and continued on, like the town is actually built on the continent itself. Personally, I wanted to believe it. Ah man, I wanted to believe this. But I was skeptical, and in the end I was right, because I think it turned out to be Xenosaga. In any case, it was not Baten Kaitos 3. And in the end, even though I still didn't believe it, that this would have been Baten Kaitos 3, it still broke my heart. Let me start with the obvious. The Baten Kaitos games are gorgeous. They are without a doubt the most beautiful GameCube games there are. Even back then, the standards still rival games to this day. That's how good they looked. The level design, the enemy design. Baten Kaitos has some of the most original enemy design I have ever seen up to this day. And I've been gaming for a long ass time. Over 25 years. The character design, the main characters are so unique, and the design of these characters are crazy. And when you see the effort that went into their clothing and the battle styles, the battle system of Baten Kaitos is the most perfect battle system ever made.
May my blade be sharp.
And slaughter! Look to the skies!
I am more in favor of the first game, Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean. I feel Baten Kaitos 2 Origins, or as it was known in Japan, Heir to the God and Lost Wings and Heir to the God, something like that. But we call it Origins over here in Europe and America. I feel they made the battle system a bit too easy. You were able to skip cards, there was one deck, I didn't like it too much, but still, this game is the second best game ever created. Music. Motoi Sakuraba is very well known for example, his Tales of series. He has his own music too outside of video games, and I feel Baten Kaitos brings out the best of his work because the Baten Kaitos soundtrack sounds most like Sakuraba's own work. It is so well integrated and it unifies the entire world of Baten Kaitos. It is just so perfect. It is the most beautiful soundtrack I've ever heard. Then there's the voice acting. The voice acting. I have both games. The original English version and the Japanese imported version. And I feel that the English voice acting is misunderstood among most die-hard Baten Kaitos fans. It is one of the things I like best about these games because it is so unique. People consider it bad. It is in no way bad voice acting. It is just not to people's likings because of the reason why I love it. It is overly theatrical. It is a theatrical kind of voice acting. You don't hear that anywhere else. It's like watching a play or like an opera. It is very dramatical and intense, and it is overly acted, but like I said, in a theatrical kind of way, not in a bad way.
Emperor Gelderblame, if you please, would you happen to have heard of something called an End Magnus?
And Magnus? I don't believe so. Is it of some special concern to your highness?
It matters not, Emperor.
You liar!
Kibari, no!
Don't play dumb with us. After what your goons did back in Diadem, if you think you can play ignorant and get away with murder, you best think again, you filthy slob! You're gonna pay for this!
Oh, so you've butchered the great black dragon. The delights never cease. What color will your Magnus be? Come, be one with us!
Acting really is in its own league, and most people just hate on it too much. They want a new game without the voice acting, but the voice acting makes these games what it is. If you remove the voice acting and you give it any generic other voice acting like all other games, you're losing the atmosphere and the essence that is these games. how would I like this series? Where would I like it? Obviously, the Wii U would have been the perfect place to put Baten Kaitos 3, but by now that might be a bit too late. The new system is announced and everything, but the gamepad would have worked perfectly with the cards. You would be able to select the cards, even though people might think it would distract from the screen because it's so intense, and Baten Kaitos goes fast. You have to calculate with the battle system, just calculating. You have to compare elements and everything. It goes pretty fast. But the option to be on the gamepad would be pretty cool. Now you can also do this on the 3DS. But by all means, I am never about graphics, but one of the main things about Baten Kaitos is that the game is so beautiful, and the quality of these graphics, you cannot do this on a handheld. The game is big, it is intense, you need a big screen for it. The small 3DS would not be good enough, which leaves the Nintendo NX. I feel, considering it might take a few years when you start on a game like this, the new Nintendo system would be perfect for this. You do not need a gamepad for this to work, but just to stay loyal to the beauty of Baten Kaitos, to Hone's artwork, his design, to have the full sound experience of Sakuraba, you need this on a new home console system, which would be the next project of Nintendo, the NX. How would I like to see this game continue? It is very easy for me to talk about this, because I love these games more than anything. These games are perfect. The first game created a setting, a perfect world. There were a crazy amount of characters to make your team out of. It set the standard of the world with the floating continents. It created this backstory with the gods. Then you had the second game. You had less characters, which is one of the reasons I also like it less. But it gave years and years of background story. You literally played hundreds of years in the past and 20 years in the past. It created a full and complete background story for Baten Kaitos. I feel the third game should implement both these games. The full character roster, the size of the character roster, not specifically even the characters, but the character roster of the first game. It should do what the second game did and really implement characters from the original game into the prequel that they made. To the amount of detail that went into the past of the game that the prequel used, that is what the sequel needs for the future. The continents finally came down. This was the setting that ended the original game. But the prequel, it created a whole past. I feel the third game could create a future. You could once again use characters from the original game, but not necessarily make them the main characters. Once again, try different things with the battle system. Make it more like the first game, but create a battle system that would still be more evolved, more worked out. Like what they tried with the prequel wasn't specifically how I liked it. Work on that again. But like I said, the most important thing is for a sequel, if you would make it, is to complete the game series. End it with the third game. Create the future. The continents are finally down. Create how the world evolved from this point on. I think that is what most people honestly expect for a Baten Kaitos sequel. To work out the future. You had the original game, which had a perfect setting. It created a world. The prequel created the past of these games, and it worked it out a very long time back to several lineages. And I feel that is what the sequel should do. Create a future for these games. But keep Hone on the team. Keep Sakuraba on the team. These people were the essence, the music, the design. If you do not have that in a sequel, I honestly rather not see it. I do not want the third game to be something completely different. I want it to feel like it fits with the first two games and works on that. Give us a future of Baten Kaitos. Why would you bother creating a sequel to this? Let me give you some great points. First off, the Nintendo systems have gotten less and less RPGs on home consoles. We need more RPGs. The fans of the Nintendo fanbase are claiming that RPGs is something we need most of anything. RPGs have a huge fanbase. And Baten Kaitos is like the best you can do. It's not the best you can do, I don't mean it like that. It is like the best out there. You don't get anything better than that. It is the most beautiful RPG out there. The deepest ones, the battles, most unique battle system. It is just such a beautiful series. It would be a shame to let it go to waste. Nintendo has this franchise in the past and it is something that could continue, and the fans want it. Another one. The second reason would be we need a sequel to these games. You established an incredible franchise. I've said it several times through this video already. You created a great past, a lineage for this game. End it with a future. These games were set up for a perfect sequel to end it. We simply need a future for Baten Kaitos, the future of these games within these games. A simple reason why you would need to do this is the games are still alive. I saw a while back that the rights for this franchise had been renewed. Super Smash Bros. 4. So many people requested so many things. You know what I wanted? More than anything, I wanted Baten Kaitos to be represented in this game, that Nintendo acknowledged the fact that these games ever happened. And we got the valedictory elegy in this. Oh man, when I heard that song, it showed me that Baten Kaitos is not dead. It is still considered, it is still on the minds of people. It is still in our hearts. Number 4. I'm not the only one. This is not just me making this video because I want it, because I do. But a petition, after the interview with Siliconera, a petition was made. It already has 1500 signatures close to. That is not a lot concerning some signatures, but taking into account that no major gaming site anywhere has shared this petition. It shows you that fans want this. They are hoping for this. Baten Kaitos has a cult following. I wish it had a huge fan base. I'm not gonna kid you guys. It doesn't have the biggest fan base on earth like Mario or Final Fantasy or Zelda, but it has a fan base. An established fan base that wishes for the series to continue, to get an ending. Baten Kaitos also has an incredible fan art community on DeviantArt and anywhere else. Myself, I have made fan art through the years since I started digital art. None of it is specifically good because I keep evolving, and I started out when I was very, very bad still, and I keep making more Baten Kaitos fan art. There is some incredible Baten Kaitos fan art out there. The fan art community for this alone is already pretty big. So the communities are spread out, they are alive, and they are asking for this final game, for a new game, for a sequel. And number 5, I'm gonna give you guys the most biased reason in the world. You can see it out here. I put my stuff out. I love these games more than anything. I am a big fan of these. These are my all-time favorite games. People can ask me what they want. Why do these games mean so much to me? Why do I love these games so much? And I explained it in one of my videos, in my top 15 favorite video games ever, why it's number 1. And it is all the reasons. The characters, the music, the battle system, the worlds, the art, the story, I could go on and on and on. The bottom line is, these are my favorite games ever made. And I want you to know, at Bandai Namco, that you have a fan base. People are waiting, are expecting these games. And even if you think outside of the Baten Kaitos fan community, Nintendo fans want and need more high quality RPGs. You don't get any better than Baten Kaitos. It is the best of the best. It is the most beautiful. And people want this to happen. Thank you, anybody, for watching this video. I hope somehow Bandai Namco will get the message that the fans, we want this to happen. This is not some random plea for myself. We want this to happen. People want this to happen. And I hope this message somehow gets heard, that it gets through. Thank you for what you have already given me. Even if a sequel would never happen, these games, they mean so much to me. Thank you for that. And once again, thank anybody for watching this video, and I really hope that somehow the notion of this project, that people want this, that it gets through. Stay real.